matter, David?
I'm taking a shortcut before.
Hey guys, welcome back to the GBDENG podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Aiden Billing. This is my friend Daniel. He runs GBD. Sorry, now what am I talking about? He runs ReviewEng on YouTube. Please go check him out. And of course, I run GBD Reviews on Instagram. So, as always, we've got a bit of trivia to start off before we get into like our news and then the movie that we're going to be talking about today, which is of course Flight. So, would you like to start or shall I?
You can start.
Okay, well, since Flight stars Denzel Washington, I wanted to ask you, how many Academy Award nominations does Denzel Washington have?
I feel like this is becoming our default question at this point. Funny enough, it's just like it's like
why not?
We just take the stars in the movie and ask how many Academy Awards they've won, like whether it's the stars.
Well, I'll mix it up next week. I'll think of something. I promise.
I have a different question, somewhat different question as well.
Okay.
I think it's 2.
Okay, he has 2 wins, but he has 9 nominations, including Best Picture for Fences.
All right.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Well, ask your question. I'm sure it'll be much better. I need
it's
to come
not
up
that
with
much
a question.
better. I just wanted to ask, since Denzel Washington is the star of our movie, in which film does he famously say "King Kong ain't got shit on me"?
Oh, that's easy. Train Day, baby. I love that film. That's crazy.
I think we need to make our questions a little bit harder. I think we've been making them a little too easy recently.
I think it's. I don't know if that's the problem. I think we're just movie connoisseurs. You know.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Super smart.
We've still got a long way to go, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to movie news. I think there's been a lot more than the past couple weeks. Do you want?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, I'll let you start this time.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Oh, do you want me to go? I thought you.
Oh no! Oh fuck! Hold on. I need to pause that. I forgot to get movie news.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry, man. That's my fault. My fault.
I'll cut this out. This is good.
Yep.
It's fine.
All right.
Here, let me start. I got a lot. Let me see where I start. All right. I can do. I got the movie news. So Deadpool 3's been confirmed to be an MCU movie. Kevin Feige.
Yes.
Teased the R rating, so it's going to be R rating again, and it's supposed to be filming. I think next year apparently.
Yep.
So I don't know. What do you think about the Deadpool movies? Quickly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I think they're a bit hit or miss for some people because they are, like, you know, mostly comedies, right? So comedies are obviously subjective. I know you're not the biggest fan of them, but personally, I think they're fun. They're fine, you know. But I think, you know, obviously the standout is Ryan Reynolds. He's definitely perfect as Deadpool, in my opinion. I think he's, like, obviously he's the standout of each movie, right? But it's nice to see that they're keeping the R rating for the MCU because I don't think a sanitized Deadpool will work very well. Like we saw that with the Christmas re-release with Fred Savage of Deadpool 2, like that they turned into a PG-13 version. It didn't do very well. People didn't like it as much because, you know, it was sanitized, right? So yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't seen any of the Deadpool films, so I'm yet to have a true opinion on them. I do enjoy a lot of different like comedies that are R-rated. Some are good, some are bad. We'll see. So I don't have too many opinions on that. An interesting film.
I just remembered something.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, you can cut this out later, but I just wanted to let you know I did remember something I was going to talk about. But we'll do your stuff first, because since you were more prepared.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Right. Next piece of news I got is a new film on Miyamoto Musashi. I don't know how to say his name properly. It's called Crazy Samurai 400 vs. 1. It's basically shot in one continuous 77-minute take. So it's basically taking the 1917 concept and, like, well, putting into an action samurai movie. It's coming out February 12th, 2021, so I might check that out if I get the chance.
Wow, that actually sounds really cool. I might have to check it out and learn a little bit more about this movie. That might be something I want to talk about. Man, jeez. Yeah, I mean, like, I actually quite like 1917. That was actually, like, the first movie I ended up reviewing on my page. It holds a special place in my heart, right, you know? But, I mean, yeah, it was great. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the filmmakers of this movie can do with that concept of, you know, one continuous take, so.
Yeah, for sure. Darren Aronofsky, director of Black Swan, Mother, a couple other films, has said his next film will be called The Whale. It's going to be produced by A24 with Brendan Fraser set to star, based on Samuel D. Hunter's play. A 600-pound recluse hiding away from the world and slowly eating himself to death is given one last chance at redemption.
Okay, premise sounds a bit bizarre, but I have to say I am excited to see Brendan Fraser back on the screen. He's like one of my favorite actors, especially since the first movie I saw him in was obviously The Mummy. I loved him in those movies. I think he was like very charismatic, and it's a shame that we haven't seen too much of him lately. Like, what do you think of his filmography?
I think I've only seen one Aronofsky film, or two. I'm trying to think. I definitely saw Black Swan recently. I think that's definitely my favorite from him, because it might be the only one.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a good movie.
I heard that was very good.
I can't remember sure. He made a Noah movie.
I really didn't like that one.
Apparently that wasn't good.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Yeah, I think Black Swan's the only one I've seen of him. So far he's done great. I heard some of his other movies aren't as good, but I'm definitely looking forward to see Requiem for a Dream and Mother. Those are the other two that people believe are pretty good movies.
Yeah, no, I'd really like to see Requiem for a Dream as well. I mean, like, I heard a lot of divisive things about Mother. People were saying it was just, I don't know, a little bit too pretentious, a little bit too all over the place, and apparently he hashed it out in like a one weekend, if you didn't know that already, but it's pretty crazy stuff. Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
So we got a trailer for Netflix's massive 2020 film release schedule. They're planning to release a film every week. I don't know if you saw that trailer for some of the projects that Netflix doing this year.
No, I actually didn't. Yeah, no, I haven't actually spent that much time on Netflix this week, but I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah. I'll try to name a few because there's a lot of projects they announced. So there's the Adam McKay movie. I don't personally. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Timothée Chalamet, Meryl Streep, Kid Cudi, Ariana Grande.
Oh my God.
Tyler Perry, and I think a couple other people I'm forgetting right now. It's a pretty big cast. It's supposed to be a comedy. I personally don't like Adam McKay as a director. I don't really love his movies. I think he's very mediocre. I don't think his movies have ever deserved award-winning recognition, especially Vice. I think that movie is pretty not good. I don't know.
Yeah, Vice is it's a bit too like. Obviously, I'm not fully conservative in my political views, but I also don't think I'm fully liberal. And I kind of feel like I like to think I'm somewhere in the middle. It seemed a little bit too much like, far left, propaganda, to be honest. I didn't like it that much for that reason, but I did like The Big Short, actually. I thought that was like one of his better films, and although Step Brothers isn't great, I still thought it was, kind of fun to watch. But yeah, it's just my opinion.
Yeah. I definitely think The Big Short is better, but
yeah.
I don't think I knew what they were talking about most of the time. As much as he's trying to like dumb down really complex political and financial issues, I don't think that makes for a very good film. Also, his mockumentary style seems a little lazy to me, because like when I think of a mockumentary film, it's like Borat, right? But that's like a pure comedy. It's not something that's going to get recognized by the Oscars, right?
No, it's not.
Anyways, I've been talking too much about that movie. There's still a lot of other Netflix.
That's okay.
We got Lin-Manuel Miranda directing his first movie. It's going to be called, I think it's Tick Boom. It's a musical.
Yeah, I heard about that actually.
There's Power of the Dog. That's Jesse Plemons and Benedict Cumberbatch. They're supposed to be like fighting over a girl. Apparently, that's the basic premise I remember. There's a heist movie with Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Red Notice, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And
those are the biggest ones that I can remember.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, that stuff certainly sounds interesting. I mean, like, I know Red Notice may not be. It's probably not going to be a masterpiece. Let's not kid ourselves here. But I mean, like, hopefully it'll at least be fun. I mean, like, at least The Rock makes like the movies enjoyable, whether or not they're good or bad. So, I actually have some news. I forgot about it. I kind of blanked out there at the beginning. But I don't know if you heard about the new like Disney Plus series, Moon Knight. Ethan Hawke was reported to be cast as the villain in that series. I just want to hear your thoughts about that. Like, what do you think of him as an actor? Do you think he'll be a good fit?
I really like Ethan Hawke, especially in First Reformed. I think he's excellent. I think he probably was the best performance of that year, definitely for actors. I don't know if you've seen First Reformed. You should see it. Add that to your watch list.
Okay.
And yeah, I like him in the Before trilogy. You should check out the Before trilogy if you've seen him in that.
I've seen those movies. They are fantastic. They're great movies.
They're great movies, and he's great in that. He's also going to be in a Robert Eggers movie. I don't know if you've seen any Robert Eggers movies, The Lighthouse or The Witch.
I've seen The Witch. I haven't seen The Lighthouse yet, though.
Okay. Yeah. And he's going to be in that movie as well. So sounds interesting to see him in an MCU movie since series.
I mean, I think if you couple that along with Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, I think it's going to be hopefully going to be a great series. I actually don't know a lot about this character Moon Knight, and I'd never even heard of him before. But I mean, like, a lot of people didn't hear about a lot of people didn't know about like Iron Man or the Guardians of the Galaxy before those pieces of media came out, and they all ended up being pretty good. So clearly Marvel knows what it's doing with these lesser known properties. So I'm hopefully I'm optimistic right now. I would like to see where they go with this. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Quickly wanted to share a poster right here. This is for Minari. I know it's gonna take a while. I don't know if you can see it that well. It's for Minari.
I can see it.
Yes, it's about a family in 1980s. They're specifically in Arkansas, South Korean family assimilating into American culture and just their struggle to survive there and make do. Basically, a goal for the American dream. And been very acclaimed. It's getting a lot of Oscar hype. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that movie. I don't know if that sounds interesting to you, but I think you should probably definitely see it because I definitely will.
No, actually, that does sound interesting. It kind of reminds me. I can't remember the name of this book, but it was like a Japanese American family. They were on a farm in like the Midwest, and they were trying to like assimilate into, that sort of life around there as well. And I think that it was a very interesting book. I did enjoy reading it. So I mean, like if it's going in this direction as well, yeah, I'd love to check it out. So
yeah.
All
right, I still got a couple more things. I got a lot of news.
Yeah, that's okay.
Martin Scorsese's announced his next project. It will be called Killers of the Flower Moon. It's being filmed in Oklahoma, I believe, this year. It's a $200 million budget. It will be starring Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, both of Martin Scorsese's main collaborators when it comes to leads. And it's an adaptation of the book called Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI by David Gran. And the script will be by Eric Roth. But of course, this is a movie that got delayed in production because of COVID, but sounds very interesting to me, for sure.
No, I mean, like, that's already got me hooked with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, two of the best actors of all time, I think. I mean, like, that alone should lift the movie above being mediocre. But I mean, like, it's Martin Scorsese we're talking about here. Has he ever really made a movie that hasn't gotten a ton of praise? I can't really remember one, to be honest. How about you? Can you think of one?
Yeah, like I think some of his films have gone lesser known overall, for sure. But yeah.
Well, Silence is probably one of those, actually.
Silence is, for sure. I'm gonna be watching Silence soon. I have it on DVD right now. But yeah, no, like I don't love him, to be honest. I think The Irishman was my favorite film from him. Because I sort of saw that twice. I saw it once, and then I kind of watched it like the mini series format type of thing that people are doing. But I definitely think I like that a lot more. I really hate the ending of The Departed, though, because
why is that? Just because it's very bleak?
So many people die, just get shot and then just get shot. It reminded me of the SNL skit. I don't know if you've seen the SNL skit.
No, Dear Sister. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It reminded me of that. And it was I didn't love the ending, but the last shot is really good. The last shot with the rat. I like that shot. But
that was good, actually. Yeah.
I don't know. Out of the stuff I've seen, I just don't love him. I've seen Taxi Driver, seen Goodfellas. None of it really connected with me personally, even though I can definitely say they're good films, right?
Yeah. I mean, personally, one of my favorite movies from him is The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, like, it's not a masterpiece by any regard, but it's just so funny the way it is, like, one of his funniest movies, to be honest. I mean, like, the way he, like, he makes this character out to be like we all accept that he's a bad guy, but he also makes you like, you know, feel bad for him and also like laugh along with him, even though some of the subject matter in the film is terrible. Like you shouldn't be laughing at this stuff, but somehow he makes it like kind of socially acceptable. I don't know. I think it's funny, and obviously my little brother loved it because he's all into that sort of lifestyle, you know, at the moment. But yeah. But anyways, let's move on. I don't want to drag this on too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David.
A couple more things. Another announcement.
Taking a shortcut before.
Another guy. Except maybe from some of the actors he's worked with. Robert De Niro, Mike Myers, Timothy Olyphant, Michael Shannon, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy are the headliners for this movie. So it's a pretty big cast. It's his original script. I don't really like his original script that he did, which was American Hustle. I don't like that movie. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. Like
these kind of directors getting these massive casts. Seems to be a trend between those two.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I mean, like that does sound like it could be an interesting movie to watch, especially since like we haven't seen much of Mike Myers lately. And
yeah,
I mean, like, you know, I used to love him watching like those older movies, like, you know, obviously Shrek, and then you've got the Austin Powers movies. He's never really been known for his dramatic acting, you know, except for maybe when he tried to convince Canada that Sears Canada was not going under. But I mean, like, that's another story altogether. But you know, it could be interesting. But it's funny how like American Hustle went from being just like lauded and praised by everyone, and now just like time is really giving people perspective. It's kind of like what happened to Avatar, you know. It's a bit funny how that works. Yeah,
for sure. And then we got Noah Baumbach, director of Marriage Story and the Mirrorwood Stories. He likes story at the end of his films. He's adapting a book by Don DeLillos called White Noise to star Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of that? Do you like Noah Baumbach?
That could be interesting. I mean, like I only really know Greta Gerwig for her like, you know, directing, you know, roles these days. But I mean, like I sometimes forget that she is also an actor. Like she's been in a lot of movies that I've seen. I just didn't realize it at the time. But yeah. I mean, that could be interesting. Who knows?
Yeah. It's really interesting because, so I don't know if you know this, but Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig have been dating for quite a while now, and they've been working on a couple things together. Specifically, Greta Gerwig's direct, and they're writing together a Barbie movie, which was supposed to a Barbie movie. Yeah, I know, right? Like, this sounds like...
What?
Yes. It's supposed to be coming out 2022, I believe. It's supposed to star Margot Robbie. The premise, I don't know if that's going to be the premise for sure, but apparently when, like, in Barbie Land, when a Barbie isn't deemed perfect enough, she's sent to the real world for an adventure. That's the premise of it. And I think it's really interesting because it's very much giving me Lego Movie vibes. Like, of course, being a boy, I never was into Barbie, right? But it kind of like, but knowing how talented the director and the writers are, it's going to be hard to imagine this is going to be a bad film, especially if Margot Robbie's attached to it, right? It's very
exactly. Like these are people who care about their craft. Like it's not like a Playmobil movie, which was you know lazily produced, just rushed out for the sake of marketing reasons. But I mean, like. It is an interesting approach. I mean, like to get people who actually like, you know, give a crap when they make shit, you know, but I hope it's good. I mean, like that would be a shocker. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah. I would not have seen that coming.
I think Greta Gerwig I think to her, she's probably chuckling to herself because she'll get like a ton of like, she knows that she and Noah can make it really good. So they'll get a bunch of like grown men to say that they like the Barbie movie. I think that's just kind of funny, and I like. There's nothing against that, obviously, but like it sounds kind of funny, right?
Yeah, no, it does sound funny. I mean, like Oscar winners, you know, directing and producing a Barbie adaptation is not the first thing that I would have ever thought of, like you know, for something like this. I would have thought they would have just got some unknown director to do it and just thrown a ton of money at it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I think we've gone through a lot of news. I think we should head over to the movie. I think I might have a little less to say, but anyways, let's just get into it. Flight, directed by Robert Zemeckis in 2012, starring Denzel Washington, Don Cheadle, John Goodman, and Kelly Riley. It was written by John Gates, who has written The Power Rangers and Coach Carter, from what I remember.
Sorry, did you say Coach Carter?
I said Coach Carter.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah. Sorry, anyways, continue.
No, yeah. Anyways, I was going to ask you, Aiden, what do you think of this movie?
I mean, I don't know. It's definitely not bad. That's for sure. I think it was sort of like, I think they were going for an ultra realistic like portrayal of all this stuff. I mean, like I like the themes they deal with, addiction and of course, grief and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. It wasn't as engaging as I would have hoped it to be. I mean, the only one of the saving graces of this is, of course, like the whole plane crash scene. I thought that was done really well. I don't know what you thought about that, but also Denzel Washington was, phenomenal throughout it as always. I mean, he's going to give a good performance in the film. Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, like I said, it definitely wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen. So, I mean, like, what do you think about it?
My opinion is that this movie is a piece of shit. And I will.
Really?
I very much think it's a piece of shit. Because
holy crap!
I do. I don't like. I gave this movie I've never given a movie a 3 out of 10. I've given it other movies lower, but this is like the first movie I've given a 3 out of 10. I hate this more than Prom. I'm just gonna say that. This is probably
you hate this more than the Prom.
I know this is gonna be. Other than A California Christmas, it's gonna be my second most hated movie on this.
Oh my god!
And I'll tell you why. Like I like the crash scene. The crash scene was pretty well done. After that, everything goes. Even before that, it wasn't that good. Everything goes downhill after that, and let me explain why. Right, Robert Zemeckis is known for like Back to the Future, right?
Forrest Gump.
It's a comedy movie, so I think there's more comedy in this movie than there is like drama. I think a couple points hit me more personally than like it would for other people, but specifically what's the first one I can think of? I guess the guy with cancer who comes up and he says like that's a trip like 3 times, which just felt like such lazy.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I had that written down. Yeah, some of the side characters seem to be really out of place.
And then the logic is kind of flawed. Ways even the scene like he's coming up to like smoke, but he doesn't have cigarettes.
Yeah,
like, he figured there would definitely be someone there. That's a little more of a nitpick. Don Cheadle's really annoying as like the lawyer character is always like acting smart. It's like your guy's going to jail. He's like, oh, my clients don't go to jail. What are you talking about? And it's like, it's not really like it's like, and he's like, and he says like, I'm gonna kill the tox report like 4 times before he actually explains what that means, right? He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill the tox report. It's like, what do you mean? Like, how can you just like kill that? Are you just like gonna get rid of evidence? It's only till later that he explains like, oh, I can say they messed up on it, but like he does that for like 4 times. One scene that particularly irritated me is the one where like Denzel goes to visit the co-pilot, and then like there's the co-pilot who's white, like they're clearly Christian, right? And but like so they're having like a more normal conversation, but like after everyone, like the woman just so the wife is so robotic and just says like praise Jesus like 3 times, and she's so robotic there, and it just like like that was another side character that really pissed me off because like do they even care? Like she's such a robot. It personally is like pretty disrespectful. And then it's like let us pray. And then it cuts to like a rock song in the background, right? I don't know if you heard that. It like hits to an electric guitar. It's like I don't know if you've ever prayed. Electric guitars and prayer don't exactly go together.
No. So, definitely not considering rock was like, seen as satanic. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like not specifically, just like the fact like it's supposed to be taken serious, right? And it's usually supposed to be with quiet. It's not that like rock specifically, but just the fact that there's a guitar. Like if they started playing like jazz or something, it still would have made no fucking sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, like it's kind of like when John Goodman's character, we first meet him, he walks into the hospital, and then Sympathy for the Devil's playing in the background. It just I've seen that done in so many movies before. It's been done to death. Like I didn't think that was necessary. And then they play another Rolling Stones song in the movie. I don't know, like just it seems like the soundtrack it was just
sucks.
A bit out of place.
There was like Marvin Gaye's song. I think it's called What's Going On. and there was like another track they put on top of it, which made it sound worse than I'm like used to, even though I like that song.
Yeah.
It's so stupid the way they end the movie. It's like, first of all,
Yeah.
the connecting room doors open because they're incompetent. They're like, oh yeah, and they just leave the doors open because yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, it's just open. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
And then of course he goes on his bender, and then he hits his head on the toilet, and it looks like there's so much blood. It looks like he's definitely going to go to the hospital, right? But they're like, okay, no, he needs to be at this hearing. Oh, or we're gonna be screwed. And then they're like, okay, what do we do? And then Denzel just happens to mention cocaine, and they're like, okay, just give him cocaine. That's how we make, let's fix his hangover with cocaine. Perfect.
Jesus
Perfect
Christ.
idea. Let's call his cocaine guy. It's so stupid. Like, my solution there would be like, oh, he hit his head. A guy who was just in a plane crash should maybe go to the hospital to get checked out, instead of going to a hearing, right? They should take him to the hospital and say he hit his head by, like, slipping or something. That would be a reasonable explanation. But no, they're like, oh, let's just give him cocaine and send him down there, right? And it's
no, I understand.
Among that stuff, and then the rest of the stuff's just boring, and, like, there's only a cool couple pieces of filmmaking, like the face transition, like, it's kind of cool. Like I said, the crash scene's pretty good. I don't know why at the beginning there's like the part where they're going into the storm and there's like the pre-scare. It feels like because this isn't based on a true story, right? Like
like the plane crash is inspired
by like a 2000 Alaska thing or something, right?
Yeah, but no one survived that one.
Like it could be completely original, right?
Yeah.
So, but what they did instead is like, I feel like they ruined the tension of the second crash scene because, you get that first little scare when it's like, oh, they're in a storm. Maybe something's going to go bad now because you figure drunk cocaine pilot, something's going to go wrong, right? But it doesn't even seem to be his fault, though. They don't even... For a longest time, I felt like he didn't really do that much wrong. Like, obviously, you're not supposed to drink or do cocaine before you, like, fly as a pilot. But, like, it wasn't his fault the plane crashed. He's like, still competent at his job, even while drunk and high. Which is... And then, which is, like, he doesn't really get... People drink all the time while driving. They don't get any repercussions for that, right? All this kind of stuff happens, and most of it isn't really because of the alcohol until the very end. And then they're like, oh, let's just fix him with cocaine.
Yeah, it's a bit... Yeah, that part is a little bit weird. I do understand that. I mean, obviously I don't, like... I'm not as annoyed. I just thought it was, I didn't think it was, like, bad. I just thought it was kind of average in a lot of areas, But, I mean, like, I understand your point of view there. Like, that it is a little bit annoying thinking back on it. But, I mean, like... Can we at least agree that Denzel Washington is good in this movie? Because I thought he was pretty good. What did you think?
Like, he's good. Like,
yeah.
But it seems like such a waste of talent, right? And
because he's in this movie. I get it.
It's the script, though. Like, it's clear he can act. I know Denzel Washington can act. He's Denzel Washington. I don't need to watch Flight to know that, right? Like, and he doesn't really... Like, he got an Academy nomination for this. I'm happy for him, right? But he didn't need it, right? This movie didn't deserve recognition. It didn't deserve to go to the Oscars, and they should have snubbed Denzel for that, frankly, because as well, like, he's good. Some of the scenes, like, he just has to cry too much, and, like, he doesn't seem all that, like, obviously it might get too ridiculous if he's too drunk, but honestly, for me, since it felt more comedic / boring than dramatic, like, I would have liked it if he was just more crazy, right? Like, I kind of liked the scene. Like, he didn't seem that drunk. I would have liked it if he seemed more drunk. I don't know what you thought. He didn't seem that drunk to me most of the time.
No, I mean, like, he just seemed, whenever he was drunk, I mean, like, he just seemed really tired. Maybe that was, I don't know. I've never been drunk, obviously, but even if I was, I couldn't say anything. But, like, I don't even know how drunk people act, so maybe that's accurate. Maybe it's not as comedic as we all like to think it is, but I mean, like, considering how, like, messed up, like, the tone of the film is in certain areas, I get why, like, that would make more sense. It does seem a little bit out of place, because it can go from being serious to just, like, kind of a bit silly. Like, that whole scene in the hospital where we first meet John Goodman, right? I was telling you about that. Like, it just feels like this guy walked in from a completely different movie. It doesn't mesh really well. And of course, that cancer patient, but I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the girl character also is kind of, she's really boring. She doesn't.
yeah, I agree.
The
Yeah.
characters are super weak. Like he drunk,
Yeah.
get him to not be drunk now. Oh, he went to prison. Well, that's the best way to get sober.
Yeah.
Just go to prison.
Yeah. Yeah. We all
And
know how great the American penal system is. So I mean, like they must have done a great
that's
job.
yeah, that's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Uh, oh no, yeah, like the score sucks. Like the
Yeah.
scores,
No.
I guess the score isn't too bad. The soundtrack, like you said, complete garbage.
Yeah.
But like, and the
Yeah.
score isn't in there that much. They got Alan Silvestri to do the music. Feels like a
Yeah.
waste of his talent. I can't believe
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis even directed this. It's a little
I
crazy.
mean, yeah, his films have kind of started to go downhill a little bit lately.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Welcome
I
to
mean, this
Marvel,
is
that didn't do very good. You
yeah.
know.
Because like for
Yeah,
the
man.
long, I also had the impression that like, this was based on a true story. For the longest time, I was so confused how any of this could be real, and then I realized it's just inspired. But like a movie that's like inspired by true events is something like The Social Network, which is like a million times better than this movie, and it has some of the same
Yeah.
aspects. It has like a lawsuit slash legal thing. It's got lawyers. It's got a person who is kind of angry at the world, but they are like, I shouldn't even say them in the same sentence. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like there's a way to do movies inspired by true events, and then there's a way not to do it. I guess. I mean, like you don't want to make it like seem too realistic, because otherwise it's going to be kind of boring. And I think that's where The Social Network did great with the liberties it took about the story, right? I think that was a good part of it, but I feel like I don't know. It kind of just made it feel a little bit boring. I mean, like it took me like a couple of sittings to watch this, which normally doesn't happen when I watch a movie, because I don't know. It was a bit slow. I will admit that.
Boring.
Like
It
I
was
don't
very
know if
boring.
it needed to be 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely didn't need to be 2 hours. It was way too long. It should have been like an
Yeah.
hour and a half tops. Like I saw after the crash scene, I'm like, okay, some stuff is happening. He goes visit the girl, right? He helps her out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, okay, what the heck is gonna happen? Oh, there's an hour left. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do for the next hour, other than like wrap
Yeah.
this shit up? It's like the climax happens in like the first act, which happens in some films, right? But like they have something in the second half. This thing really didn't have much purpose in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, I think I did kind of like I did like the legal hearing proceeding. I thought that was pretty good at the end. Like that was maybe one of the better scenes. I don't know. Like, what'd you think about that?
At that point, I was just too worn out by everything. I personally thought he should just like blame, like say the dead girl drank the vodka. I wouldn't have given a shit. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, the dead girl drank vodka. Like he could have easily gotten away with that. Frankly, of course, like it's like, oh, the moment's like, oh, he needs to stop trying to put responsibility. He needs to take responsibility for his drunkenness and his actions, right? But it's like, he hasn't, other than drink, he hasn't really done anything.
I do agree with that.
Because like his drunkenness didn't cause him to be bad at really anything, other than I guess being a husband and a kid. But they barely go into that. There's one scene where the kid's just pissed off. He's and Denzel's just like, oh, hug. We're gonna have a little hug here, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, I get it, man.
The reporters also suck. That's another thing I remember. The reporters are terrible at tracking this guy down. He's like, oh, he's not at his condo. Well, I guess he must be. We don't know where he is.
Yeah, he fell off the face of the earth. Like, do some digging.
Yeah,
goddamn.
Sorry, like, and then it's like, oh, and then they show up at his farm like 2 days later. It's like, oh, well, if he's not at his house, maybe he's like, just quick Google search. It's like, oh, Whitaker Dust Farming. Oh, cool. They still own that place. Yeah, maybe he's there. Like the other place he found residence.
Yep. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of the moment in One Night in Miami, though, because that's a movie I watched this week. In that movie, it's like he says to like Sam, one of the characters, like where they're gonna meet, even though they're like being hounded by the press, because in the movie Muhammad Ali has just won the world title. And he says into a microphone where they're going, and I'm just like, well, the press should find them, but of course it takes like the entire movie for them to find them. But it reminded me of that. That was like probably the one worst parts of that movie. But No,
yeah.
this movie,
I mean,
it
I
just
thought
added to
Ali's
the
definitely a better film though than this.
stupidity of
Yeah.
movie. Did you see One Night in Miami?
Yeah. Sorry?
Did you see One Night in Miami? You should see it.
No. I haven't seen One Night in Miami yet.
You should see it though. It's on Amazon Prime.
I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, man. Yeah.
No. This movie just I don't like it. It's really,
I'm actually surprised by this reaction. I thought you were just gonna be like me. Yeah, you know, it's average. I didn't expect this much of a negative reception to it, but I mean, I guess it's good to hear both perspectives. But
yeah.
As for a final score, you said you're gonna give it a 3 out of 10, right?
I gave it 3 out of 10. Yeah.
I was gonna, like, when I watched the film, I initially put it as a 7 out of 10, but I had a little bit of time to think about it, so I kind of brought it down to like a 6. But yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was okay.
I'm a little mad at you for giving Sorry to Bother You a same / worse score than this movie.
Yeah, I know, but it's my opinion, and I stand by it.
And it's fine. You can have your opinion. I'm just mad.
Yeah, exactly. Like I respect your opinion.
Very angry right now. But,
yeah. But at least I tried to give you something good this week. I mean, like, it's good that we had this discussion about it, because I mean, like, you know, I hadn't really seen too many negative reports about it. I knew it got like decent enough reviews, but no, I've didn't see anything like super negative about it. But it's interesting to hear your perspective from that angle.
Like some of these movies that have like mediocre scores. Like I saw it didn't have the best, like, greatest reception. Also didn't have terrible reception. But a lot of those movies can, like, they're either going to be average or like really bad. Or the couple are good actually, but that in that kind of range, you're definitely not going to hit masterpiece level. That's not happening. But you can definitely hit like the lows of what I feel this movie hit.
Yeah, that's all right, man.
Also,
sorry,
the
I get
church
it.
Stuff was a little weird. I don't know why they just they put it near a church. I don't know why. There's too much, like, the gods. There was like some god stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one review said like drugs bad, God good thing. Like,
I do agree with that. Yeah, there was a little bit of.
Don't go into that.
Yeah.
In the wall, and it feels stupid. It's like, and then Don Cheadle's like, oh, these people come out every day now. I was like, why? What are they praying for? They're already dead. Are you praying for their souls or something? You could do that for literally everybody.
Yeah, I know. It did seem a little bit weird.
Small things like that just add up to making this film just a flawed, illogical movie.
Yeah,
that's
okay
though.
To
see he had written Coach Carter, because like you, I enjoyed that movie. He also wrote the Power Rangers. I enjoyed this movie. It's like that movie, but this movie.
Sorry, wait. Which Power Rangers? Has been a few.
The newest one. I enjoyed it. And
oh,
it wasn't the
really?
Best, obviously. I
haven't seen that.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's probably better as like a Breakfast Club high school type movie than a Power Rangers movie, but I enjoyed it enough.
I heard there was a lot of like product placement. Like, isn't like this special crystal thing underneath a Krispy Kreme or something like that?
Yeah,
I heard that was a little bit stupid.
It was a little stupid, but like back when I first saw it, I didn't know what the fuck Krispy Kreme was, so I didn't like, oh, donuts, I guess. Sure, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like I was a younger kid. I didn't really care they're putting products in a movie, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It's okay. Yeah. All right. Well, should we end it off there?
Yeah, I think we'll end up here. Before we.
What's your movie, man?
So I decided we are going to watch Carol for our next episode. It's a 2015 film. Got pretty much snubbed for Best Picture. Let me meet the director. I don't know the director, and I need to know the director. It stars Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara.
Yep.
It's very good reception. Most people thought it should have gotten a Best Picture nomination. Directed by Todd Haynes. Hasn't done really much else. But yeah, no, it has really good reception.
Hey, I mean, like, I'm all for LGBTQ stories. I mean, like, let's have at it.
It'll be better than the Prom. I can almost guarantee that. If it
I think
I will literally give you $100.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be honest though. I mean, like, that's setting the bar pretty low. It's pretty easy to jump over that, man.
Also, I think Flight's worse than the Prom, so I know.
Yeah. I just want to quickly apologize to everyone before we end up. I'm sorry I gave the Prom a 6 out of 10. That was ridiculous of me. It should have been way lower, and I regret that. But that's fine. It's all about I guess it helps to have a little bit more perspective. Like over time, you don't like certain movies as much anymore. So
yeah, you can definitely find that you find a film that you like kind of overrated or you underrated it over time when you think about it more.
Yeah.
That's happened with a couple other movies. Yeah, still might get an Oscar nomination for song maybe.
Yeah.
I think song is
unfortunately
has a chance at, but also probably will get nominated the Golden Globes because the comedy category is really weak right now.
Yeah, I mean, if The Greatest Showman can get nominated, I'm pretty sure The Prom can too.
Yeah, that's a good comparison right there.
Only difference is The Greatest Showman actually had pretty solid music, so yeah.
It was better.
I don't know. I thought
the music was better.
Yeah, it was definitely better.
It was definitely better than The Prom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of much else.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. The music's definitely better.
All right. Yep. All right. Well, this has been an episode of the GBDENG podcast. Again, we're still procrastinating about a new name, so we have to get on that at some point. Yeah. I probably should do that because I feel like I've been slacking a little bit on here. I apologize for that, Daniel. But check me out on Instagram at GBD Reviews. Please give this guy a follow. He works so hard for his craft. Look at his face. This is the face of a man who is putting his heart and soul into this. So, yeah, give him some love, guys. All right, hit the notifications button. And then, of course, hit subscribe. So, yeah.
All right, see you guys next time.
See ya.